Why would Spence about to fight Saturday?
Let's talk about this.
How me and Spence gonna fight?
Let's talk about this.
That don't even make sense. See, that's what I be talking about. That's what I be talking about. I want that fight though. That's one fight that I really want. Spence and Pacquiao. Them the two fights that I really want. That I really be looking forward to in the near future. I really want Spence just to show and shut everybody up and see what they're going to say after that. Because I know it's going to be a lot of excuses and bandwagon shipping. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Who I got out of the Spence and Denny fight, I actually got Spence. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know. It's like more of a, I don't know, man. It's gonna be good because I know Denny personally, and I didn't seen him since we was little kids, and he always rose to the occasion each and every time. So it's hard to bet against him. You know, that's why I say it's a 50-50 fight. It was a 40-60 in Spence's favor, but the more and more I think with my head and just think back to the Danny Garcia that I know, when he motivated and when he feel like his back against the wall and got something to prove, he always rose to the occasion. Dating back to all the way when he was going overseas and down 10 points coming back to win, like Danny always was that type of person that never gave up, no matter, you know, any circumstances. So, you know, it's hard to just say that Errol gonna come through and bulldoze and walk through him, but at the same time, we've seen a different side of Errol that we ain't been seeing since before he was champion, and that's the hunger and the grit and the grind that he been putting in the gym to get back to the normal Errol Spence. So it should be a good fight. You know, I'm excited to see it. May both of them, you know, lead the ring healthy.
This was from Terence Crawford's Instagram. You've probably seen it already. I'm not really into just like jumping on shit as soon as it come out. Like, oh, let me upload that real quick. That's not my business model. You know, so, you know, people are probably going to say, oh, I saw this TstreeT, you're late. It's not really about that on this channel. But after I did watch it, I did find it interesting. I was like, you know, I like this. You know, coming out on the fight week of Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia, you know, giving your thoughts on the fight. You know, he did a whole 30-minute Instagram live. That's promoting. That's helping some. Now, some are going to look at it and say, oh, well, you know, he's clout chasing and all that. Not really. It's not. I don't think so. I'm thinking like, all right, bro, put your promoter hat on. Put your promoter hat on now. He giving his thoughts on the fight, and Terence Crawford is a genuine dude. So if you don't know, I had a chance to talk to Angel Garcia a couple years ago. And in fact, it was a big topic among, I got the video right here somewhere on the channel. It was a big topic among media about how Danny Garcia had defeated Terence Crawford in the amateurs in 2006. So these guys have a history. And it was a fight at one point in time that was being talked about, and from my understanding, that did. We're not pointing fingers at who, correct me if I'm wrong, but who either priced themselves out or who, you know, didn't want the fight at the time. Now, you may say, okay, well, Danny Garcia is fighting Errol Spence on pay-per-view now. He's probably going to make, I don't know. Let's not get into that. But I do like this. You know, it is a start. And you can tell that he lusts and yearns for that Errol Spence fight. Like, he really, 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 really wants it.
Now, given Terence Crawford case, saying this and that, so I got to give it back sometimes. You know what I mean? Let's be real. Danny ain't beat nobody in the welterweight division. He beat Paulie, Robert Guerrero, and everybody beat them, if you ask me. So if Errol beats Danny. If I'm saying it's gonna be a walk in the park, Danny can fight his ass off. That's why I consider him one of the top welterweights in the division. Not taking away his two close decision losses that he have. You know, I got him, you know, up there. But at the same time, if we going by what the media say, he's not a top welterweight. You know, he lost. He did his thing, but he lost. You know, just being honest, we keeping it real. You know, the two shots that he had, he lost. Now, given Terence Crawford case, you know what I mean? You can say what you want. I won the fights that I had to win, you know, against the guys that I had to win against. Errol Spence, you know what? He fought Kell Brook. He beat Kell Brook. You know, Sean Porter ain't beat the top welterweight. Y'all claim. But in my eyes, Sean Porter didn't fought all the welterweights there is to fight, but Terence Crawford. Sean Porter is another one that, you know, came up short in a lot of fights.
Now let's stop right there. Now many will say that, well, who have you fought at 147 pounds? You probably would lose too. Well, he hasn't been given a chance to fight these guys. I'm playing both sides because, truth be told, I just want the motherfucking fight to happen. I'm not one of them people that's going to come on here on YouTube and try to find excuses and all type of shit. I want the motherfucking fight to happen. And I've already said in my previous videos that I don't feel as though the fight is going to happen under. I would be shocked because I don't feel there's enough money in it, in this landscape, for a fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence to happen. Or excuse me, if Errol Spence beats Danny Garcia, it will be Errol Spence. I already think Errol Spence is the A side, my personal opinion. But they're both doing their thing. Errol Spence is on pay-per-view. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is still bringing in big ratings. I'm on the fence, man. And I'm entitled to my goddamn opinion. Shit. And I forgot my thought. But what I'm saying, what I was saying is, I know people are going to be like, okay, well, you know, who is he for? But in my personal opinion, I think this has been a plan by PBC for a long time to freeze him out, make him come over here. You know what? If Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford happens, let's say in a perfect world, right? Errol Spence, Terence Crawford happens in May. Some shit like that. Do you think that shit's going to crack 600,000 pay-per-view buys? I'm trying to figure out what's going on in Staten, New York. Let me stop watching the news. Do you think it would crack 600,000 pay-per-view buys? Now, this would have to be a joint promotion, right? Mind you, we don't know what ticket for gate is going to look like going forward in the future. Look how much money both of these guys command. Terence Crawford's making somewhere like $4 million over there on ESPN. Can PBC even match that? I understand how PBC is looked at as like, oh, well, you know, they got this money got everywhere. They can do all this and do all that. Like, yo. I don't know. Errol Spence is making we don't really know what he's making, but Errol Spence got to be making at least $5 million after everything. At least. Now, this pay-per-view, do I feel is going to do well in this landscape? When you're looking at what happened last week with Tyson versus Jones, it's hard to get casual fans to buy twice. But I like this, though. I like this from Terence Crawford. We need him to do more of this. Get his name known. Get out there. I'm not saying his name is not known, but we need stuff like this, you know? He needs it.
Well, a few fights. But he made them close. You know, Thurman, he fought quite a few welterweights in the division. But when we talking, you know, the number one guy in the division, you know, we got to be talking about Terence Crawford, man. Moving up, doing my thing. Willing to prove it, too. But this week going to be a tremendous fight, I'm telling y'all. You know what I mean? Danny ain't no pushover, and everybody excited to see how Errol gonna come back. You know, we shall see this week. But this week gonna be a tremendous fight, I'm telling y'all. Brook is so big, but let's not hate on my victories and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Every time I fight, everybody got something to say. Prior to the fight, everybody thought I was gonna lose. I had people, this the toughest fight of his career.
I had concerns.
Kell Brook is so big and strong, and he's gonna do this. I heard it all. And those same guys, after the fight, had the most excuses. Even the writers. The writers said this and said that.
Who? Where?
After the fight, you know. He was washed up. Now he was washed up. Prior to the fight, the man told you out his own mouth, this is the best he's ever felt.
Were people saying that? I don't remember. I think that people were like going into the fight that Brook was pretty like, you know, like kind of washed. You know, me, I was one of them people like, yo, I rate Kell Brook very highly, but also I always say before a fight that like, yo, when it's motherfucking, if Kell Brook get washed, then I'm not gonna make no excuses. You know, like, yo, that's impressive for a guy of where he's come from, 135 pounds, to do what he did to Kell Brook. Off the smush jab, too. You know? But I don't think that people were making excuses. Where is this narrative coming from? Bud Crawford?
And his whole career, he left home, went to camp, no injuries. He wasn't coming off an eye injury like, you know, previous defeat. He was on a 3-fight winning streak. But I can't point out all these facts to certain casual fans because it just go over y'all head and y'all just believe what y'all want to believe, you know. Everybody say he old. Man, the man 34, I'm 33. What I mean, I'm old too. You know, everybody old in their eyes when a man lose. I don't get it, man. They just can't say I'm good, I'm great. I like Spence too. I ain't got no problem with none of them, you know what I mean? Shit. My thing is, when it come down to it, we in the same division. You know, it's business. He think he number one. I feel I'm number one. And that's where the friction becomes a issue. You know, somebody got to be number one. We both can't be claiming to be the best in the division if we ain't fought each other. So that's where I'll leave it at. I've been calling all of them out since I was at 140. You know, I come up to the 147 division and everybody say get a belt. I get a belt. Then everybody having excuses. Then the fans run with it. Oh, he's on the other side of the street. I have never heard that ever in my life until now. You never hear that with nobody else but Terence Crawford. They made up a whole street divided boxing with Terence Crawford and everybody else. When that ever happened? All they had to do is just say we weren't gonna fight you because of certain situations, you know. But the crazy part about it is, correct me if I'm wrong, and a lot of y'all gonna see this, and a lot of y'all was blogging about this and y'all was talking about this. Wouldn't nobody mention Terence Crawford's name until they started losing. That's when PBC and Al and them and whoever they handlers, oh well, now y'all can go over there. But when people was champion, you ain't never heard them say, oh, let's unify with Terence Crawford or let's fight Terence Crawford. It was Terence Crawford got to get a belt, or what Terence Crawford done in the welterweight division, or it was always something, or he's on the other side of the street, or Bob Arum. It was always something. But now, like I said before, I already fought 2 PBC guys. And I think Amir Khan was managed by Al Heyman or something of that nature. I don't want to say something that I don't know, but I think. But yeah, so if that's true, that's 3 fighters, right? But the top guys, when they was champions, when they had something to lose, It was don't say his name, no nothing. But now you see things is changing. You see things is changing now. You know, you see Sean Porter say, "Oh man, me and Bud can fight." Now you see Keith Thurman, "Oh, send a contract." Now you see who else? You starting to see a lot of.
And the fucked up part about it is, it's true. Like, no matter how you try to slice it, no matter whose side you on, you can't deny that. But see, motherfuckers on YouTube not going like, motherfuckers be like, I don't like it. Motherfuckers be sucking so much dick on YouTube that, you know, for this fucking super chat shit, that they don't like saying the motherfucking truth. Like, that shit is annoying. It's like you know, looking at the situation, you can clearly see who is the creator and the lead of all this conflict of fighters not fighting each other. It's PBC. It's always been that way. Can you really blame them? It's their business model. Their business model has always been that way. PBC has always been trying to be their own league. The Fox Sports VP has said himself that's their goal. In, you know, short words, pretty much. And I'm shortening the words. So, and then when it's not enough money, like PBC makes, the fighters make all the money, you know, as much money as they do because they get all, like, it's in-house. You know, the promoter gets a fee. Basically, the only person that they really have to worry about paying is Al Heyman. It's not like you got all these different promoters in, you got these managers in, all that. It's their business model. But motherfuckers be acting like they scared to talk about it. You know? Look at how many guys on PBC side have turned down money and it has had adverse effects where people don't talk about it. Guys like Adrian Broner turning down that Rock Nation $40 million deal that could have been a buyout, a significant buyout. They would have brought him out since they're now defunct, like they did Cota. You know, who else turned down significant money? Wilder turned down significant money. You know, nothing wrong with betting on yourself. Yeah, but turn down significant money with the zone. Whatever the case may have been. Look at Peter Quillen. He was the first one. Turned down all that motherfucking money. His career never was the same. Who else over there turned down big money? You know, it's like, you know, it's not saying that, you know, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is super big money. I'm just saying that with the, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. And I'm tired of the bullshit. You know, when people, you know, people scared to say it, but when people are talking about, you know, oh, the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones pay-per-view, you know, we need more boxing promoters and everybody to work together to bring events like this. It's fucking PBC, but people scared to say it.
A lot of young fighters coming up, but that's what they supposed to do. You know what I mean? They looking at the top guys in their division to get a title shot, and that's what we do.
It's like pulling teeth, getting them motherfuckers to work with somebody, bro.
You know, you gotta call out the top guys when you coming up. That's how you get your name out there, and that's how you get your opportunity. So I don't knock none of them, but let's be real, man. Spence only really fought one guy, Kell Brook, and Kell Brook only fought one guy. You know what I mean? And that was Sean Porter. And Danny Garcia only fought two guys. Well, really one. I don't know, man. I'm different. I just look at, you know what I mean? Like, what have you done?
Errol Spence is more so playing the money game. You know, where Mikey Garcia wasn't a credible fight, but it was a money game. You know, get your name out there, now you're pay-per-view. Sean Porter, yes. Lamont Peterson, don't really count him, but the Kell Brook was significant. So when you really, really look at his resume, Chris Algieri at the time, I didn't really count him as being a threat. I'm sorry. I was at that fight too, by the way. Is what he's saying credible? Now, let's talk about some real, real good testing fights for Errol Spence. Kell Brook, and Sean Porter. And now Danny Garcia. I'm sorry, I rate Danny Garcia. But I understand what people say they can't rate Danny Garcia, because of what he has or has not done at 147 pounds. It is what it is, guys. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. Please subscribe.